We are going to take some more calls here. We are taking calls at 617-830-4750. Who's our next caller?
Hi, David. I'm Eric from Michigan. And my question to you is, how do we come to the point that we're at where we elect a president who literally has no political experience, who is a television personality, essentially? And how do we get to the point where we're so easily manipulated as a populace?
Well, it's a couple different things. It's a couple different things there. I mean, number one, the entire no political experience thing, you're talking about it as a liability, and many people agree with that. But many of the Trumpists saw that as the reason to vote for Donald Trump, that he was the outsider. He's not the guy who's entrenched in Washington business as usual. Now, we've seen that narrative completely fall apart with his appointment of completely establishment Republicans, lobbyists to his transition team, completely clearly going into this thing, his meeting with the Japanese prime minister and his daughter, who is going to be supposedly managing his business interests in some kind of way that is separate from Donald Trump as an individual. So I think that the voters were bamboozled on that. But needless to say, nevertheless, the entire no experience thing was seen as an asset by many Trumpists.
But why were the voters so bamboozled by this even before the election occurred?
It's a couple of different things, and we've talked about it. And I know a lot of people are quick to blame one or two things on the election of Donald Trump. Blame it on FBI Director James Comey's letters. Blame it on racist Trump supporters. Blame it on Hillary Clinton being a bad candidate. Blame it on the DNC choosing Hillary Clinton early on and stacking the entire playing field against Bernie Sanders. It was really a combination, right? There's no doubt that economic fears in some parts sort of catalyzed by racism, right? The fear of Hispanics taking your job made people see Trump's narrative as appealing. It's true to some degree that the candidate selected by the Democrats, Hillary Clinton, had major liabilities in terms of the entire email thing. I mean, I think there was a lot going on here. And then we also have voter suppression in the background of this.
Well, and I guess my point is why is it that the voters themselves are so easily manipulated? Why is it that the voters themselves are so easily distracted? Why is it that there isn't a message to these people that there's ways for them to draw conclusions based on critical analysis?
Yeah.
I don't think blaming anyone or anything is productive. I think it's empowering the populace to not be so easily manipulated, and that is, to me, the real tragedy of this whole thing.
Yeah, well, when you look at Texas Board of Education staffers or volunteers saying critical thinking isn't something that we should really be teaching in school, I think you very quickly get to a lot of what you're talking about as the root of the problem. And I completely agree with your analysis that the lack of critical thinking is a major, major problem. I really appreciate the call. We do have to move on. I hope to speak to you again in the future. GameFly is sort of like Netflix for video games. They have over 8,000 new and classic games for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, and a bunch of other platforms. And you can play as many games as you want for one monthly fee. And if you find some games you want to keep, you can buy them for a low used price. There's never any due dates or late fees. And our audience can get a free 30-day trial at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS. The games are shipped directly to you with return envelopes included. There's no contracts, and you can rent games through the mobile app. Get the free 30-day trial for the David Pakman Show audience and support our show by going to gameflyoffer.com/TDPS.